All right. Welcome. Can everyone hear me out there? Maybe a yes, no in the chat. Awesome. Great. Well, we're going to get started here in a minute. Welcome. This is the first and hopefully many more to come webinars with the entire EdgeClear broker crew. My name is Max Timmons. I'm the VP of Brokerage Services. Please welcome the real knowledge of EdgeClear, Ian Blanky, Giancarlo Saracino, and Zach Levitan. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Max.
Hey, what's going on, Max?
How you doing, Max?
Doing well. Why don't you guys introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, I'll start. My name's Ian Blanky. Hopefully I've talked with some of you who are watching today, and if I haven't, love to get to know you. I'm the Director of Brokerage Services here at EdgeClear. I actually helped start EdgeClear with Max and Morad, our founder. And outside of futures brokerage, I love playing guitar, love golfing, just a normal, everyday guy.
Awesome. I can jump in next here. My name's Giancarlo Saracino. I graduated from DePaul University. I've been an options trader and crypto trader for a while now. But in my free time, I just like reading books and learning more about the futures market.
How's everybody doing? My name is Zach. I am the newest broker on the team here. Like G, I also enjoy crypto, and like Ian, I also enjoy golf. So I'm excited to start working with some of you guys if I haven't already.
Awesome. These guys are great, by the way. They are, I'm not joking, they are the true knowledge behind EdgeClear. So today, we are going to discuss what goes on behind your trading screens. We've utilized our brokerage team's 40 plus years of combined experience to build a presentation that hopefully helps you guide you through this sometimes never-ending puzzle of how this industry works. Believe it or not, there's a lot of moving pieces that goes on behind your trading terminal. So, first and foremost, derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So, Ian, you want to maybe go over? You know what? Maybe I could do this. What is our agenda today? Today, we're planning on diving into the futures industry and focusing on all of the pieces that make your trading terminal work. This includes who is EdgeClear, why is it introducing broker important, what is an FCM play in the whole puzzle, how the execution works through the execution feeds or dedicated data feeds, if you can't even execute through a dedicated data feed. And finally, we're going to map out the entire process for you. And then at the end of this presentation, you got to wait till the end. But probably why most of you are here is we'll do the prize at the end. So you got to stay till the end to see if you won. So, Ian, now it's your turn to discuss who is EdgeClear.
Thanks, Max. So EdgeClear, we're an independent introducing broker. A lot of you are probably like, who cares? What does that mean? I'll get into it here in a second. We launched in April of 2020. Super fun time to launch. We were in the middle of what many of you probably experienced, a lockdown. So it was very exciting for Max and I at that time. And we have 40 plus years of combined brokerage experience. What does that mean? All of our team here is traders, and Max and I specifically have been on the futures brokerage side, more so the retail side and other things for a really long time. I don't even remember how many years I've worked with Max now. As I said, all of us are traders. We're focused on servicing active traders, investors. We have other programs as well. So that's really our bread and butter, is working with active traders and folks like probably a lot of you watching. And what we pride ourselves on is that level of service we provide. So after that, you're probably wondering, well, why do I even need a broker, right? Who are these guys? Why do I need to work with them? Let me just give you a very boring read from the dictionary definition of what an independent introducing broker is, and then we'll talk a little more about that. But an independent introducing broker, or an IB, is an organization that solicits, accepts orders to buy or sell futures contracts, commodity options, Forex, which we do not do, or swaps, And basically, the only difference between us and an FCM is we don't hold assets from customers, right? So we're not holding your funds. So why do you need a broker? Well, everybody needs a broker to execute orders, right? You're not placing a trade just direct to the exchange, right? You're not going to the CME and calling somebody on the phone and saying, hey, I want to put this order through. And you also have a personalized representative, right? So here at EdgeClear, you actually get a personalized broker, and we pride ourselves on familiarizing ourselves with all of the technology options we have, the different clearing solutions we have, making sure that we're setting you up with the right fit for your needs. So that's one plus. Plus, you don't want to go to the doctor, but in case of an emergency, you want someone to get a hold of. So that's where we come in as well. You have someone to call, and ultimately, that's going to be your biggest lifeline as well.
So throughout this customer journey, so to speak, we're going to provide you with this map. And it's going to be very confusing at first. For example, here's you. So far, we've talked about the trader, you, and EdgeClear, the IB, the broker. Eventually, this is going to be a map completely filled with this industry. At the end, we're going to go over it all in more detail to give you a full picture of what this industry has to offer. So the next piece of this puzzle that we're going to go over is how the FCM fits into this customer journey or your journey. G, why don't you kind of go over this a little bit?
Sure thing, Max. So you're probably thinking, what does an FCM stand for? Well, it stands for a Futures Commission Merchant. And the FCM is responsible for connecting you, the trader, to the exchange. They're also responsible for collecting margins. Some other roles that they play in the account process is when you're going to open up an account, the first person you're going to open up the account with would be the FCM. So you'll submit the application with the FCM, and they'll be the first to approve you. After that, another thing that they're responsible for is holding your funds. Your funds are not going to be commingled with the FCM's funds. They're going to be held in what's called a customer segregated account. Those funds are held separate from the FCM's daily activities. As I mentioned, they also grant you access to the exchange. They help you with clearing. They send you statements, and they're going to be in control of the margins. There's a total of 64 FCMs right now in the industry, and EdgeClear works with many different FCMs. Right now, we work with Dorman Trading, Philip Capital, and Iron Beam.
And I do want to add one thing is EdgeClear is an introducing broker. Because we're an introducing broker, like Giancarlo said, we can clear through as many FCNs as we wish. So we have the option to have many different solutions because FCMs, every single one of them are unique. So they all offer their own advantage to customers. As an IB, we're not just stuck with one solution. We're able to introduce business to multiple different FCMs. So Giancarlo, why don't you kind of go over a few reasons why, few differences between our FCMs and why we work with these three.
Absolutely. So the first one that I'll talk about is Philip Capital. So Philip Capital has a global presence, offices around the world. They started in Singapore. Right now, just so you're aware, they are a bank. Out of the three FCMs that we work with, they are the largest in regards to customer segregated funds. So for somebody who's looking to open up an account with us, why would you choose Philip Capital over the other two FCMs that we have? Well, they offer rhythmic data. So they offer Sear charts with Teton, CQG data. So something that Philip Capital offers that the other two would not is they offer access to the Singapore exchange, Hong Kong exchange. They're more likely known for their exotic markets, as we would say. They offer ACHs into the account as well as out of the account. They offer a 24-hour emergency risk desk as well as Canadian residents. So Canadians can open up an account at Philip Capital. So the other thing that's not available at Philip Capital is Eurex on Rhythmic. So if you're trading with Rhythmic and you're trading the Eurex exchange, you would not open up at Philip because they don't offer it. They also do not offer Plaid. When you're doing an ACH setup, as of today, they're just not doing the played setup. So you would do it a manual process that we can assist you with. Dorman Trading. So moving on, Dorman Trading is a third generation clearing firm. Lots of experience. They were recently sold to MyX, which we believe strengthens their offering. What does Dorman Trading offer? Similar to Phillip Capital, they also offer rhythmic data, Sierra charts with order routing, CQG data. However, Dorman does offer Eurex on rhythmic, which if you're trading Eurex products, we would direct you to Dorman Trading. They also offer a 24-hour emergency risk desk. However, ACH deposits into and out of the account is not available. And then Canadian residents would not be available at Dorman Trading as well. Um, Moving on to the last one, Iron Beam. So Iron Beam also offers rhythmic data, Sierra charts with Teton, and CQG data. Iron Beam is our boutique FCM. Plate is offered at Iron Beam as well. Recently, they went direct clearing to the CME. In addition to that, they also offer a 24-hour emergency risk desk. But Iron Beam does not offer ACHs out of the account, so you would have to send a wire or a check out of Iron Beam. In addition to that, Eurex on Rhythmic isn't available at Iron Beam, and they don't offer Dorman and Iron Beam also don't offer the worldwide exchanges like Phillip Capital would. So, in saying all of that, I'm sure you're wondering why not just go directly with an FCM? And Max, do you want to jump in on that?
Yeah, I can definitely jump into that. So, FCMs, like I said earlier, as an IB, we have access to as many FCMs as we can go out and create agreements with. So we have many different solutions. On top of that, you've learned that an FCM does a lot. They hold customer funds, they manage the statements, they manage the clearing, risk, all of its platform setups, all of that. So you can imagine, not that they can't be hands-on, but as an IB, it gives us more opportunity to be hands-on with our traders, to kind of get them set up, walk them through the setup, answer any questions that they may have. Outside of that, we're able to offer discounted day trading margins. Again, something that an FCM may be able to do, but as an IB, we have the different options to go and say, hey, we want to offer this discounted day trading margin over here, where others may not be able to. We have very competitive commissions. We are, like I said, also in the beginning, the 40 plus years of knowledge that you're looking at or at the team. This is just a portion of the 40 plus years, but we are familiar with the markets. We understand the platforms. I mean, it's our job is to get you up and running and set up as quickly as possible. Because as a brokerage firm, really the revenue coming out of an IB or a broker, just to be transparent, is commissions. It's a commission-based world. Most of it, pretty much the revenue comes out of that. So for us, we want you to get set up. Now, we don't want you to get set up and when you're not ready, we'll walk you through and we want you to be ready to trade futures because this is a leveraged product. Lower day trading margins is a double-edged sword. It increases the risk and reward ratio, so you could profit or you can lose more than what you were originally with lower day trading margins. And like I said, recap, we have more options available for the traders, multiple FCMs. So moving on, here's our FCMs in our map. Dorman Trading, Iron Beam, Phillip Capital, right above EdgeClear. So it's Trader, and then it works with EdgeClear, and EdgeClear works with the FCMs. That's the map so far. Which leads me to the next topic, which is, what is an exchange? An exchange is an electronic centralized market that is responsible for a lot. They're responsible, like I have here, standardizing each contract through specs. They regulate trader activity. We get emails quite a bit from the exchange to kind of say, hey, there's messaging limits over here, or maybe a rule is not being followed here. So they're monitoring traders. They're guaranteeing a counterparty to your trade. So in futures, you're not trading with a broker or a Citadel or anything like that. With a centralized market, you could be trading against your neighbor, really. And it's a central matching venue for your trades, and they make sure all trades are treated equally. Exchanges do not trade against their participants, like I said earlier. So now we're going to add the exchanges to our customer journey. As you can see, they're above the FCMs because the FCMs work with the exchanges to get you set up with an exchange data feed or just an execution feed to execute your orders on, which I guess we're going to talk about that now. Ian, you want to go over
Yeah,
that?
I'll grab this one. I want to add one more thing too. At the end of that, you mentioned, you're not trading against the exchange. There are markets, right, where you are trading against your broker or someone who is making that market, and that is not the case with futures, right? So it's just another advantage, in my opinion, about what the futures market offers, which is that centralized matching, that centralized exchange, right? So very cool concept there, and part of the reason why there are so many layers to this as well. Anyway, an execution feed, what does that mean? There's basically two types of data feeds. You've got dedicated and execution. So dedicated data feeds are people who essentially are pulling data from the exchange and streaming it through to you, a DTN IQ feed, bar chart, Denali, which is Sierra Chart's data feed. Something like a DX feed, if anyone's familiar with that, is a dedicated data feed. But what those feeds do not allow for is direct execution. In other words, they're not carrying, they don't have a separate set of servers that are basically parked next to the exchange that are matching orders up and executing orders, right? And so for that, you need something like a Teton, which is also Sierra Chart exclusive, Rhythmic feed, which can power a lot of platforms, a CQG, TT. There's a lot of execution platforms out there that we can offer. But basically, what's the difference is that your execution feed can also be your data feed, right? Teton does not have it because Sierra Chart uses Denali, but Rhythmic, CQG, TT, some others will provide you market data and allow for execution through one login, one connection, and that powers all of your software, right? The other thing there is when you open a brokerage account with us, if you qualify as a non-professional trader, we help set you up with that login and get your exchanges going. If you went to one of these providers directly, and you certainly can with those dedicated data providers, you're going to be paying a pretty substantial amount for market data. Especially if you contact a Rhythmic or a CQG directly. I won't even tell you guys how much it is to get that data without having a live trading account open, because you're just going to say, why would anyone bother? Maybe if you're building a system or something like that. Another common question, can I use multiple feeds on my account? So these execution feeds that we work with, CQG, Rhythmic, Teton, they all have their own unique links to the exchange. So you can actually run multiple feeds, but you can't do it on the same account. We would need to open up sub-accounts so that you can connect each feed to its own account. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you're routing orders through Rhythmic and you have a CQG login on that same account. Well, now the exchange is receiving orders from two different places, and your platforms are getting all confused too, because you were long in one, shorted the other. Now, what's your actual position? You're probably seeing a long and a short in both different feeds, right? So it doesn't work that way, but we can do it if you open up sub accounts. One advantage of like a Rhythmic, for example, is that it offers full depth, right? So why would I pick one feed over another, one execution feed? Rhythmic offers full depth MBO data. So what does that actually mean? MBO data, in addition to giving you the full depth of market on the order book, right? So you're not just seeing 10 levels of bid and ask, you're actually seeing expanded everything that the CME has to offer as far as where buyers are sitting or sellers are sitting. You also get known queue and position. So if you place a working order, you can actually see, as long as your platform allows for it, which we'll get into some platforms later, you can see your place in the queue. And then the rest of it is just increased transparency, right? This is what's used for iceberg detection and things like that, right? So just that increased transparency as to what orders are being filled in the market. Did I miss anything, Max?
No, I think you did great. You did great. I guess like MBO, you're just getting more. You're
Yeah.
just getting more data from the exchange. So let's throw in data to our map. So as you can see right here, data is right under EdgeClear because you're going to get that data from EdgeClear. You're going to get that login from EdgeClear. It may be the FCM setting it up, but you're interacting with one person, and that is your broker at EdgeClear. That's where you're going to get everything from. So the next piece of this is platforms. So which platform should you use?
Oh, I'll grab
Ian,
this
what do you
one.
think about
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I got you here. So every platform, of course, like the slide says, it has its own unique advantages, right? A saying I used to have was, every platform is basically like the same candy bar in a different wrapper, but that's not necessarily the case. And that's part of the reason why some platforms are more expensive than others, right? So if you're someone who likes to use order flow and volume profiling and things like that, well, I probably wouldn't recommend like a certain web-based platform to you over an order flow platform like a Bookmap or even a Sierra chart or something like that, because it's just not going to do the trick for you, right? So there are different things among these platforms. We actually have our own platform as well called Edge Pro X. I know this all can sound confusing, and why did we make a platform and all of this? And part of it is to basically just offer out a low barrier solution for traders, right? So Edge Pro X is a platform that, full transparency, everyone knows this, I think, we built on Motive Wave and we added our own unique stuff too. And so what we do with that is actually create videos. Giancarlo here made a ton of walkthroughs on it. Morad, our founder, has made videos using the platform, and we have a huge expansive knowledge base. But if Edge Pro X isn't your thing, again, we have a lot of other platforms. So how do I get started? How do I pick one of these? Well, that's where that personal broker rep comes into play, right? All of the team here, if you come in and say, well, I'm really used to having this indicator, and here's my style of trading, and here's what I like to do, we can set you up with a platform so that you can actually get going and get something that suits your needs. Because, like Max said, our goal is to connect you with the solution that you feel most comfortable with to trade. That doesn't mean you have to go in and go crazy and start trading live right away, but we want to make sure that you're satisfied with your setup and you have the right platform for what you want to do.
Exactly. And I think, the next slide over here, which what we're going to be doing here is adding a couple platforms, some of the most used platforms at EdgeClear. And we're going to be building a little map. We're going to complete this now. So the platforms that I chose, we're not limited to these platforms, but I chose them because a lot of our traders use them, is our trader Bookmap, Edge Pro X, Sierra Chart, TradingView, and CQG Desktop. Also, it gives me a good discussion to kind of show you what works with what and why this can be a little bit complicated. So first, you're a trader. Your customer journey, or your trader journey, I should say, is to figure out, okay, what platform do I want? What tools do I need? Am I an order flow trader? Am I a market profile trader? Am I volume-based trader? Or do I just watch price action and I don't need that much? Well, that's your first step, is to figure out what platform that is. And that's where these personal brokers and the knowledge that Ian, Giancarlo, and Zach are able to bring to you, I would utilize that, because they understand these platforms, and you don't necessarily need to go out and figure it all out on your own. You have a personal broker here at EdgeClear that can help with that. So once you figure out the platform you want to use, it's what data feed connects to that platform. So a lot of these platforms work with each data feed, but there's some that we would recommend over others. For example, our trader is Rhythmic's native platform. So that's going to be Rhythmic only. Similar to on the far right, CQG Desktop is CQG's native platform. So it's only going to work for CQG. Bookmap and Edge Pro X to the left, we recommend Rhythmic because of that MBO data that Ian mentioned and discussed earlier. It provides the order flow tools that those platforms are able to offer. And then Sierra Chart, we recommend Sierra Chart to customers use Teton. Why? Because that is their execution feed. So think of it as, would you rather use a third-party data feed for a platform or a feed that they build and monitor? In my opinion, Teton is going to be the best bet for Sierra Chart. TradingView and CQG Desktop, like I said, are CQG. And that's, again, where these brokers come into play, is they'll be able to guide you to that spot. And all of those data feeds flow right into EdgeClear. when I say edge clear, it doesn't mean they're flowing into a server or anything like that. It's just we're providing the login to your data and your execution feed. So from edge clear, we set you up on an exchange, on an FCM, either Dorman Trading, Iron Beam, or Phillip Capital. Like Giancarlo said earlier, we'll guide you into that location, that best spot. You can either contact broker or just maybe find one through our open up an account page, and you'll be able to know you'll know where to go. And then the FCMs will set you up with the exchange. So what we're going to do here is we're going to show you what FCM works with what exchange. Dorman works with Eurex, ICE, and CME, as Giancarlo mentioned earlier, same as Iron Beam. But you can see Phillip Capital has access to many exchanges: ASX, SGX, Singapore Exchange, HKEX, which is the Hong Kong Exchange, TOCOM, all of those exotic, a lot of those exotic exchanges they have access to. So this is the full picture. Let me zoom in here. I meant to do that earlier just so you all can see. But this is kind of the trader journey that goes on behind your trading terminal. So this is, you may see Trader and maybe Edge Pro X or Sierra chart right in front of you, and you're all good. You're saying, I'm trading, I'm doing my thing. And that's fine. That's all you really need to worry about. But what this webinar is meant to educate traders on is what happens behind that screen, that trading terminal, and what are all the moving pieces that need to be set up so you can click a button to execute on it. And that's the point of this map. So if you're interested, Zach, why don't you kind of discuss a little bit on how to get started with EdgeClear? You're muted, Zach.
Nope, he's muted.
Sorry, guys. So starting with us, there's a few different ways. Depends on how you heard about us. So if you came through a partner, you might have been provided a custom link. I would recommend using that link so then you get the customized experience that we put together with that connection that we made. So that would be a great way to get started easily. If you're coming to us for the first time, you've never heard about us, feel free to go to myed.ge/open. That'll take you to our open an account page where you can choose between our 3 FCMs. You can fund with our account minimum. To find out what that is, feel free to reach out to a broker, one of us 3. We'll be happy to help you out. And we're happy to answer any questions you guys might have. So feel free to ring in, send us an email. We will get right back to you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Zach. And I know I push on this a lot, but not many brokers out there can say they have a personal broker. Not many traders out there can say they have a personal broker. That's what we strive to do. We strive to provide best customer service to our traders. So, last but not least, the prize, the winner. Let's see what we got. We do this little picker wheel thing. You all signed up. We got a lot of registrants in here, which is awesome. So we're gonna spin the wheel. We're gonna spin it once. We're gonna get a winner, and then we're gonna spin it again for a runner-up in case the winner does not accept the prize. So the winner of the $200, which by the way, thank you, Sierra Chart, out for providing this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sponsoring this and providing the $200 credit. So the winner is Bob. Bob, congrats if you're out there.
Awesome.
So let's do one more for a runner-up. I saw some good names in here. Good aliases, by the way. Rick Sawyer, you're the runner-up. So thank you all. We'll be in contact once this webinar is up to provide the prize. So that's our presentation for today. Does anyone out there have any questions? Let's see if we got some.
I know we got one about historical data, which as other people are typing it in, I'd be happy to tackle that one if you can find it, Max.
Yeah, go for it.
So someone asked, out of all of these execution feeds, etc., what is the most consistently reliable with historical data? And there's a couple of factors there, right? For one, as far as really far back historical data, you're probably actually going to want to go get a designated data feed, right? I'll just take you straight there, depending on how far back you want to go, depending on the size of the bars you're looking at, because a Rhythmic, a CQG, TT, etc., they're relying on what they're able to obtain from the exchange. And if you want to get years and years of historical tick data, for example, they're not paying for that to pass on to you. Otherwise, all of us would be paying a ton of money for our market data, which, no one likes a ton of fixed costs like that anyway, right? So as far as reliability, I know Rhythmic recently expanded their historical server capacities. I've always had a good experience with Rhythmic. CQG is really solid. A lot of this can depend on your front end software as well. If you're someone who's using a Sierra chart, then you're probably going to want to go get their Denali data feed, and that's a designated feed for Sierra chart. So it really depends, right? You might be losing out on multiple platform connectivity if you decide to connect from CQG instead of Rhythmic, but maybe for your machine, the MBO data that Rhythmic provides is just too much, right? And it's not handling it well, right? So this is all stuff that can be factored into reliability, right? As far as the historical data, just things to consider there. I don't know if anyone else wanted to add something.
No, I think you
No.
covered it. I think the big piece of that is real time execution feeds. They focus on execution.
Yep.
So not that it's a perfect science either way, but they want to focus on that execution side rather than the historical data. So the dedicated data feeds are a good solution for that, in our opinion. There's a couple more questions in here. Zach, do we accept Canadian traders?
We do. Feel free to come on over to our FCMs. We can take care of you. So Phillip Capital and Iron Beam. With Iron Beam, you might be paying slightly higher fees, but at Dorman, we can get you in with the standard fees.
Phillip Capital.
Phillip, yeah.
Phillip,
But
sorry.
yes,
Phillip.
definitely.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, if you're confused and you don't know where to go, that's what these guys are for.
Yeah, feel free to give us a call.
And there's some more in here. We got some people in here that want to talk to you, Zach. Hit up Zach after this webinar. He'll be happy to.
Trust me, he's easy to get a hold of. You can give him a call or shoot him an email after this.
Come on over.
There's some. Let's see here. Can we trade options on futures through FCMs? Yes, you can. That options on futures are handled a little bit differently. Normally, we want to talk to the trader and then we create a customized setup for you. It is possible, but it's not enabled by default.
Yeah, correct. And then another thing too to add to that is certain platforms don't offer options chains. So it's good to keep that in mind if you're looking for the actual chain. Our Trader Pro, I know, offers an options chain as well as CQG desktop. So just keep that in mind. We can chat about platforms that offer options chains. If you're looking for that, just let me know.
Yep. There's another question that I could tackle. How can you assist with obtaining an exchange seat? Yes, we can. We actually have a service. It's called CME Membership Consultation. So we do this quite a bit. We have a few members that do that already. So we're very knowledgeable in that. And you sign up and we'll walk you through if it's worth it. And believe it or not, it's funny. I've seen a lot of traders in my experience in this industry, and a lot of traders would benefit from a membership on the exchange. I think it's the mindset of just being a pro at that point might get to them, but it's the break even is actually pretty low comparatively speaking. So if you want to contact us, we're happy to walk you through it. What kind of emergencies were you referring to at the beginning? Exchange crashing. I mean, it's not unheard of that an exchange crashes. I've seen it where it just goes down. So that's kind of the thing where unfortunately, there's really nothing anybody can do. But I've seen it happen. I mean, it's electronic trading, so anything can happen. Technology is not perfect; it never will be perfect. So there's always risks to electronic trading. So your platform goes down, or something else goes down. The emergency trade desk is meant to be used as an option to call and for emergencies only. Overnight's not going to be called. You're not going to call an emergency trade desk and get help. Opening up a dome. Most likely, it's going to be pretty much emergencies only.
I will add to that though, during the day, even if you have a question, right? Hey, I thought I went into the close short 5 contracts, and I opened up my platform today, and it has me short 2. Do you know what's going on? Like even calling us during the day to help out. I think it's a heck of a lot better than sitting on the queue on a phone line or sitting on queue on a chat bot waiting for an answer, right? So it's my opinion, but something to consider there.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Here's an interesting. I'm an order flow trader, but also want to use indicators to study equities from using a different broker. I prefer to use Sear Chart, but I'll open a Bookmap. What's the best setup for me? I would say that if you have indicators and studies for equities, since we don't offer equities, it might be best just to keep that study over there, and then we could simply be the execution for your futures through Sear Chart or Bookmap. So we have a couple that do that use a a equity firm for their stock data and then just execute through EdgeClear for the futures. So that's absolutely possible.
Hey, Ian or Max, correct me if I'm wrong here, but IQ feeds a dedicated data feed, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
And so couldn't I use chart equities using IQ feed? Don't they offer that to traders? And IQ feed can also be used for my futures trading, or is that something that I may be mixing up?
Well, you could use it certainly to get data for both, right?
Right.
And execute through a front end. Sure.
Correct. Yeah.
We're getting a little off board there, but yeah, you could definitely do that.
Yeah. Cool.
There's what is the difference from Sear Chart Teton versus CQG execution? Currently have AMP CQG execution with deny exchange data feed. Like I said earlier, Teton is Sear Chart's data. That's what they are focusing on. That's what they're building. So, the details of the execution piece of this is probably something I wouldn't even be able to start going over. It'd be too long. This webinar would go on for probably 3 or 4 hours. But you can look at it as Sear Chart is focusing on Teton. So, that's the data feed they want to
The execution service, really. Denali is still the data, yeah. So
yeah, exactly. So that's the real, in my opinion, that's the real big difference.
You're saving 20 cents a round turn as well at the moment.
And you're saving some money. At this time, there's no transaction fees, so you're saving some money there.
Exactly.
So that's another big
Thank you, Leo. Yeah. Leo's got our back there.
Yeah, it's probably the first thing I should have said. Let's see here. Am I missing any?
Who has access to auto liquidate limit information put into a platform like Rhythmic? I don't know what you want me to tackle with that question, but if you're asking who can handle those settings, that's the FCM, us as the broker, and even you as the trader if you want. The way that auto liquidate with something like Rhythmic functions, though, is if you want it to lock your account out for the rest of the session, or you want to have to contact someone to be unlocked to trade again, it's got to be set on the broker or the FCM side. It can't be on your side. I don't know if that was your question, Aaron, but if it wasn't, you can type another one. I think we got them all, Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it. And Giancarlo, Zach, Ian, thanks for joining as well and providing your knowledge. And if you guys need anything, again, go to myed.ge. See if I can get back there. /open. Again, myed.ge/open. Or you can just contact one of the brokers here and we'll gladly be able to help.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Hopefully this was informative, and enjoy the rest of your afternoons or evenings or wherever you are.
Have a good one.
Have a